Something just happened on the world stage that is, well, it's a really big deal. A relatively small country just did something that even global powerhouses like China or the European Union have never dared to do.
And we're not talking about some polite disagreement or a move to renegotiate. They just declared it over. Done. This is a genuinely unprecedented move, and it might just signal a major shift in how global trade works, a shift that could affect every single one of us. The big question is, why? Why now?
And just in case you thought there was any wiggle room here, listen to this quote from Malaysia's trade minister. "It is not on hold, it is no longer there." I mean, wow. In the world of diplomacy, you just don't get any more final than that. This wasn't a warning shot. This was the final word.
So, how on earth did we get to this point? It all happened incredibly fast. This is the story of how a ruling in a courtroom in Washington, D.C. sent massive shockwaves across the entire globe.
So picture this. Back in October 2024, the US and Malaysia signed this new trade deal. Everything's looking good. But then, just a few months later, in February 2025, the US Supreme Court drops a bombshell. It rules that the very tariffs this entire deal was built on were actually illegal. For Malaysia, the logic was simple. If the foundation of the deal just crumbled, well, the deal itself is toast. So what exactly were these tariffs? They're known as IEEPA tariffs. Basically, it's the special emergency power a US president has to slap tariffs on goods for national security reasons. But the Supreme Court looked at how they were being used in this deal and said, nope, not this time. And just like that, they pulled the legal rug right out from under the entire agreement.
And this is where things get kind of wild. You've got this massive contradiction happening in Washington. So on one hand, the courts are killing the old tariffs. But at the exact same time, the White House is preparing to threaten Malaysia and a bunch of other countries with new ones. You can see why Malaysia would just throw their hands up and say, you know what, we're out. We can't deal with this unpredictability.
Okay, so you might be thinking, all right, interesting international drama, but what's it got to do with me? Well, it turns out a lot. The fallout from this could show up right in your home and in your wallet.
See, Malaysia isn't just some far-off country. It's a huge piece of the puzzle for things we use every single day. The chips in your phone, your laptop, even your car, a ton of those are made in Malaysia. Those medical-grade rubber gloves you see in every hospital? Yep. Even palm oil, which is it's in everything from shampoo to cookies.
So when you disrupt a supply chain that's that important, what's the bottom line? What does it all mean for the prices you pay every day?
It's pretty straightforward, really. When a deal like this falls apart, it gets more expensive for companies to get the parts and products they need. And guess who ends up paying that extra cost? We do. It's like a hidden inflation. The price of a tiny semiconductor might go up, which means the price of the car or the laptop it goes into could jump by hundreds of dollars. That's foreign policy hitting your bank account, plain and simple.
But look, this is about more than just money. This whole situation creates a much bigger problem for the US on the world stage, especially in this huge geopolitical chess match for influence in Southeast Asia.
As you can see here, China already has a massive economic influence in the region. This trade deal with Malaysia was supposed to be a major play for the US, a way to show they're a strong, reliable partner. With the deal now in flames, it's a huge setback. It makes America look less dominant and honestly less dependable.
And that right there, that's the real damage. Imagine you're another country in the region, like Vietnam or Thailand. You're watching all this, and the message you're getting is loud and clear. The United States is an unpredictable partner. A deal you sign with the White House today could be wiped out by an American court tomorrow. That kind of uncertainty, that is a huge gift to Beijing.
So it all boils down to this one massive question. As America's partners and allies all over the world watch how this unfolds, they're all asking themselves the same thing. In a world with so much at stake, who can we actually trust?